today some escapes. We had some escapes from mount and mount variations, but one that's tricky sometimes, and it's a little late, is whenever you get yourself in technical mount, or kneeling mount, or modified mount, whatever you want to call it. Basically what it is if I'm here on bottom and facing away from Alan, he's got a knee up in the front here, generally speaking, and he's in a much better position because not only is he mounted on top of me, so he has all the advantages of that, but he's also getting closer to my back. So that's a really bad thing here. So first thing is we always want to survive, then we think about defending, and then escaping, and then upgrading our position, right? So the first thing that I want to do to defend is whenever we get here, I don't want his arm back here to come underneath my neck. That's when he starts getting really good control over my shoulders. So I'm gonna make this like I'm listening to the ground. I put this little cup by my ear, keep my head down nice and tight. And this top arm, I'm gonna kind of defend here against my arm. Now, if this is a punching situation, this doesn't offer me a whole lot of opportunity, so I just have to be faster on the escape. But if it's just a straight submission grappling or gi grappling or whatever it is, then defending my arm is gonna serve me better. So you'll notice like everything on this side here is up. So this knee, hip, shoulder, all up. This is a kickstand here, driving everything harder into the floor. The first escape I wanna look at is the condition in which my arm can get underneath my body. The way I can do that is to lift my hip up enough to make space for my elbow to retract. Now there's just this little wedge sticking out. I want to put that wedge behind his ankle, right by his Achilles tendon. Now I can't push with that because I'm on top of my own arm, but I can push my hips back, making some space here between his leg and my body like that. With that space here, I can insert my top or my bottom leg. We'll talk about why one and not the other sometimes. If I have my choice about it, I want to insert my top leg here this way. Whenever I insert my top leg, I switch the grip here to over so I can pull and push. I get perpendicular with this hamstring. I want this arm to go on this side of his body like an underhook, and I'm going to drive oblique the knee this way here, and I'm going to come up off of that, so I'm already have like a built-in knee cut pass. Then it's a matter of clearing. I already have my underhook established because of my grip. So that's number one. Now, I'm not saying that there's different options from the exact same position. When those things change, the option has to change to be the most efficient option at a given time. So now we're looking at the second situation where from here, I go to make the space, I make it, and maybe I didn't make enough space for this top one to come in, or for other reasons, I may feel restricted to get that one inside. So the bottom leg now can come inside here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I wedge it up to the bend of his knee, hopefully to the hamstring. I'm gonna pull his ankle toward me and push my knee this direction here. Generally the same thing happened, except now instead of being a knee cut, will be in a shin staple. I'm still gonna get my underhook on this side. I'm gonna drive up and over, and then from there, you'll notice that I have this kind of staple here. I'm in the half guard, but he's not really able to lock a decent half guard because of how I've come up. Again, I have my underhook established. I can get top body control, and then it's just a matter of me wedging and escaping my legs to get past any kind of guard or half guard that he has. So those are two different options if I use the top leg or bottom leg. Now, so we're looking at what if I couldn't get my top leg? Now, what if I can't get my bottom leg? Because maybe the space is too tight and it keeps shrink wrapping that heel inside too tight for me, right? So if I get in that situation where he's really get that heel dug in, if he digs the heel in, that has to make space here. So at that point here, I'm gonna go and insert my elbow that way, just to create that space. Now, same thing that I did with shrimping a while ago to make more space. I keep my elbow there, shrimp my hips back, and now there's a big enough gap for me to swim inside. Now, obviously don't stay here for very long. He has a lot of different options of what he can do to take the back, set up triangles. If he's punching, he's gonna punch me in the face several times, but I have to get out of this situation. So I go here and I gable grip. It's actually harder than you would think for him to get me in a triangle from this position unless I just really stay here a long time. So now I'm gonna turn my knee, hip, and shoulder all down to the floor and my head down toward the floor all at the same time, this way here, like that. Now, what will happen sometimes is my head's still on the inside, so I'm gonna let this hand come out, grab here by the leg, pull his ankle, pull his knee, drive my shoulder into his hamstring, and then turn him over this way, and now I'm looking to pass the guard. Or if he didn't allow me to turn him over, then I'm taking his back. So those are two pretty good options, especially considering where I just was. The last option is one of the most important because of the principle that it illustrates. Because sometimes we sit here and we have an idea of how to escape in mind, and it's the wrong idea because it's not the efficient one. It's just something I'm thinking about in the time, and I'm trying to force it to happen whenever the circumstances aren't optimal for it. What I mean is that if we're here like this, and this time Alan has gone to a modified mount where this knee is actually down, the other knee is up. Because if maybe I turn on my side to start an elbow escape or something, and he's keeping all the weight down heavy on this leg, then sometimes I can get so target fixated on this leg right here that I'm trying to make space and push And I see this a lot of times with white and early blue belts, just really trying to dig for that space, when all the while, this side over here is very light. So all I really need to do is just get enough space to wedge inside here and then shrink toward that side over there. Now I can get my knee inside easily and my other side foot can come up. And now from here, I can start looking to pick the leg up, topple them over there, or stand up and finish like a single leg. But the idea though, is that I don't need to get so target fixated on one particular area that I ignore where the space is being created that's gonna be more optimal to facilitate my escape. There's always gonna be pockets of space. You can't shrink wrap every single thing. I just have to be calm enough to figure out where those spaces are, and I have to rep enough times to where I develop the sensitivity to be able to feel that in the first place. So anyway, those are 4 different conditions, 4 different escapes. They're gonna be some of the most optimal things you can do from those positions, and those are all from technical mount. Don't get there in the first place. Just don't get mounted. Always stay on top. Better yet, just don't go to the ground. You know, don't get in a fight, right? Just always win. Always be bigger, stronger, faster. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.